The small village market stirred beneath the soft morning sun. Amid the baskets of guavas, bundles of herbs, and freshly roasted peanuts, a modest stall of boiled corn stood quietly. Behind it was a woman, slim with tanned skin from days working under the sun. She wore an old conical hat, and a plain shirt rolled at the sleeves. Lytutien, once married, once betrayed, once cast out by the very family that had promised her a place. She gently arranged the corn in her basket, wiping off the steam rising from a pot kept warm over a tiny stove. This stall didn't belong to her. It belonged to Babé, the old woman who once saved her from a night of terror when she was chased through the streets, abandoned and bruised. Today, Babé was ill, and Tu Tien had volunteered to sell the corn in her place. As the village stirred to life, voices rose and bartered, children tugged at sleeves for snacks, and Tu Tien's call rang softly. Fresh corn, sweet, soft, just picked. But then, out of the crowd, a figure appeared. One that turned her stomach cold. An older man, walking with a cane. His gray hair slicked back. Sharp. Mouth curled in that same sneer from years ago. Her ex-father-in-law. Well, he said. Didn't think I'd see you here. Tu Tien's hands froze over the pot. What do you want? Nothing much. Just happened to be passing through. Selling corn now, are you? Quite a fall from grace. She looked around quickly. No one seemed to notice them. But he had stepped closer now. You think you can just run and live peacefully? You left my son. You made a scene. You ruined our family's name. I didn't ruin anything, she snapped, voice low. He cheated on me. And you all turned your backs. He stepped in closer still. You owe us. The weight of his gaze was unbearable. Tu Tien reached into her apron, pulling out the small amount she had earned that morning. Nearly all she had. Take it and go. I don't want any trouble. The man smirked, reaching for the money. But then tires crunched on gravel. A sleek black pickup truck pulled up to the edge of the market. From the driver's seat stepped a man. Tall, dust-covered boots, sweat-stained shirt, and dark eyes taking in the scene. CEO of a major construction firm, currently overseeing a project in this rural area. And Tu Tien's. What exactly? Friend. A shadow of something more. His gaze locked onto the scene, her handing money to the old man. The tension was immediate. Tien, he called. She turned sharply. Let's go. No questions. No explanations. Just silence as they drove away. But Jack had seen. And Tu Tien knew he would not forget. The truck rumbled softly as it sped down the country road. Inside, silence weighed heavier than any words. Jack's hands gripped the steering wheel, eyes fixed ahead. Beside him, Tu Tien sat stiffly, her hands resting in her lap. I'm sorry, she finally said, voice barely audible. Jack didn't respond immediately. I didn't want you to see that, she added. Was that your ex-husband's father? She nodded. Jack exhaled, still not taking his eyes off the road. Did he threaten you? No, she whispered. Not directly. Jack didn't speak again for a while. When he finally did, it was soft. Why'd you give him money? I don't know. Maybe I wanted to make it stop. Or maybe I was still afraid. Jack glanced at her then, really looked. You don't owe them anything, Tien. Her eyes shimmered with unshed tears. I know. But I keep feeling like I do. They reached the gate of Babé's home. The old tile-roofed house sat nestled among banana trees and a fence of hibiscus. Jack helped her unload the leftover corn. Let me help you carry this in, he said. You don't have to. I want to. Inside the air was cooler. Babé was still asleep, her thin chest rising gently with each breath. Jack stepped back to let Tu Tien check on her. When she returned, he was pouring her a glass of cool water. Thank you, she murmured. They sat on the small porch, dusk settling around them. I've built towers in cities, Jack said after a while, but I've never had a home that felt as peaceful as this. I mean it, he said. It's quiet here. Real. There's pain, yes, but also honesty. She gave a small smile. You talk like you've lost things too. Jack looked out at the fading light. My mother passed when I was 15. My dad buried himself in work and never looked back. I had to grow up fast. I built everything from nothing, but sometimes I still feel like I'm running. Tu Tien looked at him, something soft blooming in her chest. Maybe, she said, we both need to stop running. The next morning they were back at it, working around Babet's small plot of land. Jack rolled up his sleeves and helped Tien cut grass to feed the cows. The air smelled of earth and sun, of cow dung and fresh-cut greenery. City boy knows how to swing a sickle now, huh? Tien teased. Jack laughed, wiping sweat from his brow. I've learned from the best. The banter helped them forget, for a little while, everything else. Later, as they sat beneath a tree drinking tea, Tien finally spoke about that night years ago. The night she ran barefoot from her husband's apartment after finding him in bed with someone else. The night she had no one to turn to. I had bruises, she said, voice flat. From when I tried to grab my phone and he shoved me against the wall. Jack's fists clenched, but he stayed silent. His mother told me it was my fault for not keeping him happy. And his father, well, you saw. Jack looked at her, then really looked. I hate that you went through that alone. She shrugged, but tears glimmered. You're not alone now, he added. That night they made dinner for Babet. Tu Tien laughed for the first time in days when Jack mistook fish sauce for soy sauce and nearly choked. City boys, she said, shaking her head. Hey, he grinned. You're not exactly rural yourself. No. I'm just finding my way back. Jack held her gaze, then reached out to cover her hand. She didn't pull away. Not this time. Babet's fever broke early the next morning. Jack had stayed the night, tending to her with cold cloths and whispered comfort. When Tien woke, she found him already in the kitchen, cooking porridge. You didn't sleep, she asked. A little, he said. Boss stable now. I figured I'd make breakfast. She stood quietly, watching him stir. Something inside her shifted. You do too much, she whispered. Not for you. They sat outside after breakfast, sipping tea while the old woman rested. The sun filtered through banana leaves, casting golden shadows. Tien finally broke the silence. I used to think no one would ever choose me again. Jack said nothing. I'm not new. I'm not perfect. I come with baggage. He turned to her. You're real. And that's all I've ever wanted. They took a walk later through a field behind the house. Wildflowers grew in clusters, and dragonflies danced around them. Tien stopped and turned to him. You're not afraid of all this? Of what I carry? Jack shook his head. I'm more afraid of letting you go. She reached for his hand and held on. That evening they sat on the porch with Babet, eating simple rice and boiled greens. Laughter filled the air, light, unforced. Tomorrow, Tien said, I want to take you to the orchard. There's a guava tree that hasn't been picked in months. I'll follow wherever you go, Jack smiled. Even into the mud, she teased. Especially the mud. Choosing peace. Together. Later, after Babet fell asleep, they sat outside beneath a crescent moon. Do you ever wish you could go back and change things? She asked. Sometimes, Jack replied. But tonight, sitting here with you, I think maybe everything led me to this moment. Tien didn't reply right away. Then she whispered, Me too. He reached for her hand. She let him hold it. They didn't need promises, just presence. And under that old roof, with the hum of crickets and scent of night flowers in the air, they began again. Not as strangers, not as broken pieces, but as two people choosing peace. Together.